What makes what makes a woman dangerous? A dangerous woman is a woman that can't be controlled, not by fear, guilt, shame, fairy tales dressed up as a future. She's not dangerous because she's harmful. She's dangerous because she creates. She creates her own life based on her own rules. She's the woman who chooses herself again and again. And she trusts what she knows in her bones, not what she's been told to believe. Now, if you've been following this series, you have some idea of what a dangerous woman is. And I want to welcome you back to the channel. If this is your first introduction to me and this channel, hello, I am Marjorie, and I am the founder of the Emergent Women Collective, a space for women in these in-between time in their life who are ready to reimagine and redefine what leadership, life, and love looks like at midlife. I invite you to please subscribe, share this video so that more women like yourself can find this work. So this is video 4 of my 5-part series called When a Woman Belongs to Herself. And this is the precursor to the launch of my Dangerous Woman container opening January 6th, 2026. And this is a 6-week immersion for women who are exhausted from living inside a life that just doesn't feel right anymore. For women who did all the things that they were told to do, and it was told it was going to bring them success and happiness, but yet it left them feeling defeated and fragmented. Inside this 6-week immersion, you will come home to a life that finally feels like yours. You'll stop holding together the parts that no longer fit. You're going to learn to trust your instincts again and reclaim the woman beneath all of the roles that you have been performing. This becomes the foundation of how you love and how you lead and how you live. So if this sounds like you and it sounds like something that you are ready to do, the link for this program is in the description box where you can see more details and you can register. Now, I'm going to tell you, I am not trying to be sensational when I say dangerous woman. The reason why a woman can be seen as dangerous in society is because she becomes a threat. She becomes a threat to the system that relies on her submission and her silence, to the roles that she was trained to perform, and the internalized lies that kept her playing small. A dangerous woman is not here to be managed. But maybe right now in your life, you don't feel so dangerous. Maybe you feel more depleted and defeated. Your energy capacity is drained easily. Even with what you think are probably hours of sleep is enough for you. You're getting 8 hours, but your nervous system is still wrecked. You're still feeling exhausted and tired and foggy brained. You're overextending yourself. When you feel like smiling, but you really want to scream, like your power is just misplaced or it's been taken from you. There are too many women that feel powerless in their own lives. Our power right now in this moment is the most important commodity we can have because with our collective power, we become a force. We cannot be told what to do. We can no longer be trained. and we will no longer submit. Maybe you spent years doing what was expected. I know I have, holding it all together because people have seen me go through crisis after crisis, being strong, being resilient. And somewhere in that survival script, you started believing that your worth was tied to your usefulness, right? You've taken all of the coaching programs, you've read the self-help books, you've done retreats and all. You're creating your vision board, you're repeating the affirmations, but none of it can substitute for true reclamation of your own voice. I spent years shaping my life around being a wife and a mother, pouring everything that I had into those roles that I thought would keep me safe, give me worth, and I'd be loved. And don't get me wrong, one of the greatest accomplishments in my life has been the two humans that I have raised to become just beautiful human beings in this world. But while I was doing all of that, it was violently taken from me. And not just the relationship, but the identity that I had built around. In fact, I wrote a memoir about my experience titled Who the Hell Do You Think You Are? You can find the book on Amazon. And it talks about how I went from an upper middle class stay-at-home mom to spending 24 hours in jail and then becoming homeless and being in the fight of my life for over 2 years. And it didn't stop there. Just this past year, after losing my job that I poured so much into, I lost that job in late 2024. So I decided, well, this is perfect timing. I will build my business. And I started to build a business that was leadership focused, corporate focused, very polished, very strategic, aligned with all the right steps. But it wasn't built for me, not the me that I was becoming. It was built from a place of survival, from this need to prove that I could still matter, even after it all fell apart. And that's what happens when we build from expectations and not from our truth and not from our instincts. But understand it is in these moments that the cracks begin to reveal something and we begin to remember who we were before the world told us who to be. And that moment is where the dangerous woman starts to emerge. Now, maybe your story looks different from mine, right? Remember last week I shared stories of two different women, right? Maybe you're in a marriage or you're in a relationship, but there is this numbing, right? That's happening there. Something is amiss. Or there's a career that has you beautifully caged in. But let's be honest, there's a cost to all of that. The cost of a life not fully known and experienced. You've spent years building a life that might look right, but it doesn't feel like home. You're in a body that doesn't feel like your own. You keep showing up, But somewhere along the way, you forgot yourself. Parts of yourself have just poofed, disappeared. Joy, pleasure, they're they're a distant echo. When your joy is postponed, it turns into resentment. Hmm. When your purpose is buried, it can feel like fatigue. And when your truth is silenced long enough, you forget what your own voice sounds like. All of this robs you of yourself, a purpose that goes undiscovered, dreams never being met. They keep getting pushed back further and further into the future. Your power is dormant. So I know a lot of you, this is the key word that I keep hearing as I'm having conversations with you all. You're exhausted. But this is more, this is about more than exhaustion. It's about erasure. But here's what I want you all to know. The moment you stop, you listen, you go within, you become committed, devoted, and loyal to yourself. You don't unravel. You start to remember. There's a flame of recognition. The moment you feel your desires rise again, not because all of a sudden everything feels safe, but because it's yours, right? I'll never forget that moment for me. I begin to long again, to long for more beauty, for more joy, for more life, for more love, for more passion, for more adventures on my own term. I was becoming who I always was. We're stepping into a new era, one where these old models and templates of womanhood and leadership and love, they can't hold us anymore. What's coming cannot be led by women still trapped in performance or people pleasing. It will be shaped by those of us who remember our fire. Women who will no longer outsource their power. Women who belong to themselves. So I want you to understand the dangerous woman isn't some gimmicky brand. She's a necessary force for what's next. And the world is already shifting to make space for her. She incorporates, and you've heard me talk about these other archetypes. She incorporates the Renaissance woman and the wild woman. Now, I already claim to be a Renaissance woman, but next year, 2026, that is my wild woman era. And I'll talk more about that when we get into 2026. But this is what the dangerous woman work is about. It's not about self-help fix or strategy to improve anything. It's a returning to yourself and a connection to your power and a movement, a forward movement of stepping into your power, into your future. It's where you become alive to yourself. So, in the Dangerous Woman container, inside this immersion, you're not learning how to do better or live better. We're really going to be unlearning the performance traps of being someone that we're not. So this is a 6-week program, but the Dangerous Woman focus, that one emerges on week 4. And that's where we're really going to dismantle the systems within us. We look at the systems outside of us, but there's systems within us that are connected and being ran by those systems outside of us. The inner gatekeeper who is constantly looking for permission to step up. The inherited fear that we have of being seen. The performance of devotion for validation and approval from others. We're going to stop negotiating our power, and we're going to stop asking to be allowed to be who we are in the way we want to be it. So that shift is going to look like moving from a place of domestication to disruption. We're going to disrupt some things in our lives. We're going to move from a place of silence to sovereignty. You're going to rise not to be dominant in any way, but to embody. You're no longer going to apologize for the truth that lives in your bones. They are afraid of the power that we have. So when you become dangerous, they know you can see beyond the veil. And if you want to understand what the dropping of the veil looks like, go back 2 videos ago. Maybe 2 videos ago, when the veil drops, a midlife awakening. But during this entire program, we're really going to start to dissolve the tension of holding together a life that no longer fits us. And we're going to learn to listen to what our body has known all along. The body holds the wisdom. We're going to name what you're no longer willing to tolerate. And we're going to start building from a place of truth. By the end of this journey, you may not have all the answers, but you will have something sacred, a reclaimed relationship with yourself, and a depthness to it. And we know that's what we want. We want relationships with the depth. One that becomes the foundation of how you live and how you love and how you lead moving forward. You will walk away with a deeper trust in your own rhythm, your instincts, and your inner authority. So this is not about becoming someone new. It's really about returning to who you were before the world told you to be someone else. So if you feel the pull to this, the path is open. The door is open. The link for more details will be in the description box below. So until next time, I'm Marjorie. And again, this is the work of remembering who you were before the world told you who to be.